I feel as if maybe I'm coming to the end of a long, hard road, but I'm just not sure. And I'm ready for that thing to turn off. Don't turn off. Wait. Huh? Okay. So, I just feel like I have pigtails I'm wearing. I went to court this morning on my terrible charges of not littering and not having an open container and smoking weed twice in public because I live in public and I smoke weed for reasons of horrible pain and nausea and headaches and general malaise that leads to suicidal tendencies and gets much better when I smoke ball. And so, I mean, littering charge, they literally rolled up talking shit because they were really being abusive back then before they shot Dizzle. And I threw a piece of paper on the ground because they were talking some shit, and I talked some back and then thought better of it, but I tossed it on the ground and then got up to pick it up and they would not let me. Said a container was mine. It wasn't. Some informant conversation in Spanish got blamed on me. Never had an open container in my life. I can't drink. So then I did 3 days, which I've discussed before and we'll discuss again, that were horrible. Released me in the middle of the night. So this morning I go to court. And Brad from here is there, one of my nemesis, right? I'm like, Brad, you're following me. He's like, what are you in for? I'm like, I'm not in for anything. I'm in for being poor. And so the bailiff hears me. He tells me to take off my hat. I say I'm sick and bleeding. He says, leave it on. I say I can't sit in the middle section. He says, sit in the back. Eventually, I say, listen, I know this. All the judges were women. Weird. I say to him, listen, I know that this very nice Jewish lady is just sounding wonderful and you're trying to talk me into staying because she's so cool, but it doesn't matter how cool she is. It was homeless harassment. I'm bleeding. I got to go. He says, she's really cool. I say, can't stay. I go back in there. The scene was so strange because there were all these people. The lawyers get the first dibs, and this one guy, the bailiff, was screaming, I would never hire you as a lawyer. And the other lawyer's going, you shouldn't say that. And so she's screaming it louder. He had a big sash. He looked ridiculous. The one guy was mad dogging me the whole time. I'm bleeding. But the bailiff was nice, and when I went back in there, this very nice Jewish lady was yelling what my mom used to yell when she would yell for the maid. Lupe! 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 What is the law on littering? Do I need a trial for littering? What am I, fucking Arlo Guthrie? It says Arlo Guthrie had a thing with Alice's Restaurant, and he was littering, and then he had to sit on the Group W bench. Kid, I want to sit you on the Group W bench. So I'm going to say, son, while you were littering, and we had to pick up the trash. I literally thought I should have broke into a chorus of Alice's Restaurant. Seriously, this is a fucking heart attack. Not kidding. Kidding, but not kidding. Kidding while not kidding. Not kidding, kidding. Okay. What I'm saying is this. I'm not saying much. What I'm saying is that. No, don't do that. Look. It was insane. I mean, she wasn't saying jury trial. She was saying, do we need a dispensation of the court records to adjudicate a release of Mr. Cotler for a 45-day? Because if we need a jury trial, you can't put him 3 months out, right? But luckily, everything they harassed me for being homeless is such a low level of misdemeanor that it's below the traffic stuff that they would have to have. Because speedy trial, I'm realizing what was being said. So she let me go 3 months out, and at the end she was so nice. She was saying, well, but, we won't, you really want to come back? I said, I want to come back well. I don't need a month, I need 3 months. She goes, you want to come back really well? I said, yeah. I said, I won't be bleeding and I'll have money if you find me. She said, well, we won't recognize you. And I said, well, we'll get reacquainted, Your Honor. It was fucking surreal. And I left, and on the way out, as I was trying to talk to the bailiff to get in there one more time to get released, in addition to Brad, some fucking homeless fucking loser that I know, drunk-ass loser from these streets that's menaced me before, that menaced me again, and I said something like, oh, and this guy's here. But then on the way in, I said something, oh, look, it's the bailiff. He decides to get a wild hair up his ass in front of the bailiff and try and start hey, what? What? No, dude. And I just stand there and go, I'm talking to the bailiff. I want to go back in there and get released from the Matrix torturing me and poking me with a stick because authoritarian dipshits apparently really think that they are doing you a favor when they break you. That was not the vibe I got from the bailiff. The bailiff was like, she can leave your hat on, you're bleeding and dizzy. Yes, I'll get you out of it. Are you sure that's what's best for you? She's really nice. She was. We have a totally broken system. People should not volunteer for it if they want to do good. If you want to do good, go work for a charity. Go work for a non-governmental organization, right? Non-GMO, whatever they call it, right? Go work for go work for a church. Go work for a temple. Go give people your time. But don't work for the government, because if you work for the government, you will be evil. Whether you want to be or not, the guy's standing there trying to be nice. She's trying to be nice. The system's broken. We listened to a long thing on my constitutional rights. Here's what I found out about constitutional rights. I never have any, and the ones they do have don't apply to me because I was fucked with in a way that is contrary to the Constitution by people that complained about me, made up lies, and then just the cops were like, well, we're judge and jury. You're going in. Sorry, dude. Back in the day, they would not, quote-unquote, violate you if someone had made a ridiculous complaint about you. But the fact of the matter is this time they just said, yeah, it was a ridiculous complaint, but hey, we have all these warrants we wanted to use to fuck with you. We stacked them up one after another, and now we're going to fuck with you because, hey, we like it. At the end, I was standing there at the dog park. This one really scary-looking guy, he looked like he was from the fucking Rampart Division. He rolled up and he stared at me. Just there was this long, slow roll in the car. He was in the passenger seat, and he was just staring at me like, yeah? Really? And I'm like, I'm bleeding because I'm sick. I'm not a meth head. And he's just looking at me like, yeah? No one in that fucking hole believed I was not a fucking tweaker. Would not give me an antihistamine, say they had no obligation to give me medical treatment. Really, you fucking pieces of shit? So what I'm saying is when you get a person that really wants to do good, and they actually went in there because they want to do good, this system will not allow it. Very surreal day. Oh, I should tell the end of the story. Here's the end of the day. Go to the skate park. Being the skating old man, chatting, met a nice guy the other day who's got a kid. We were dads together. I was like, yeah, I can't skate him in pain. He's like, yeah, me too. All of a sudden, I'm middle-aged. Who knew? Aussie kid hurts his leg, literally broken ankle. His dad is trying to drag him to the hospital because they don't have insurance. And at one point, his dad has him against the railing, and I'm like, this isn't good. And he's like petting him and saying, the kid's like, I really can't make it. He can barely move. He's like, it's all right. He's like, I don't want to try and do this. I can't do an Aussie accent, save my life. Recently, he says, it's okay, you're just going into shock. And he pets him. And the way he touched his kid, I could tell he really cared about his kid and was making a ridiculous call and going to harm his child, possibly. Kid was 19, but he was scared. I'm assuming he's about that age. I ran across the sand. I got the lifeguard. They came. At the end, the fireman even thanked me. I couldn't believe anyone noticed. I had two strange reactions. Here's my two strange reactions. One is not strange at all. It's I prayed for the kid. I felt love for them and compassion. It was really wonderful. I cared about them. I told him he was going to be okay and his dad was going to be. His dad ran away too. I said, your dad will be back. It's going to be better now. The other response I had was that because my life is such a continuous traffic accident where the response of the entire human fuck race is to just wander up and stare at me like I'm a fucking movie. Gee, Martha, look at the dying guy. Take a picture. How interesting. Wow, traffic accident. Awesome. No, offer to help, right? So the fact that somebody else's life was a fucking disaster made me feel less lonely. And when all those guys from the fire department and the lifeguard came over to help him, I was really digging on the fact that there are actually some heroes in this world still. And a lot of these guys going to the military can't really be a hero of the military for the most part. You can by saving your comrades, your buddies, but you can't necessarily do it in the war because the war isn't necessarily righteous war. We don't fight it with righteous rules of engagement. We kill a lot of innocent people and often for a totally unnecessary purpose. So that's not really the good guys. But those lifeguards and those firemen, they really are the good guys. They really were awesome. They helped the kid out. He needed it. At the end, I think even his dad realized this would have been bad. He looked like he had shattered stuff in his ankle. And wonder of wonders, I felt a moment of connection, which was great. I prayed for the kid, which was awesome. But the fact that I feel less alone only when everyone else is having a hysterical freak out and a tragedy and an auto wreck, kind of a bummer. Kind of a bummer. Know what I'm saying? I do not have PTSD. I have TSD. It's ongoing. I have OTSD. Ongoing traumatic distress syndrome. Shit keeps happening and I never recover from the last thing and here comes some more shit. Hope the kid's alright. I really hope that when I look back on my life, that this will be the day when I won. I just did some weird thing of like, when you look back on your life, I believe you will see that this was the day when we won, when the tide turned. I was doing it totally other. It was a good minute. There's red in the, and I suck. That sucks.